Yeah,
you can live in a world of alternative facts. But the funny thing about money...
It's time to show these bastards that you can get on a tiny little submarine, visit Titanic, and make it back alive. Let's fucking go.
A little dark.
Here's the tea. Trump, aka Daddy MAGA, is once again dropping bombshells like he's DJing at a demolition site. One executive decision here, a betrayal there. Maybe.
Hey everybody, this is Dean FM, Dean Fraser Milford here for your creature comfort, and today I wanted to do another reaction video on a more political note because it's very well justified and very much overdue on my channel. MAGA voters break down in tears realizing Democrats were right. Donald Trump won't save you. Well, we kind of told you that. How I found this channel was from the hashtag Fafo around and find out hashtag. People found out this year. We're gonna get right into it. I'm 31 years old. I'm neurodivergent. I've lived a life. I've worked and been a part of numerous LGBTQ organizations as well as multicultural organizations. And I would like to speak on what I can. And if I can't speak on something, I'll acknowledge that. And yeah, it's all fair game for me to be up in here. Let me stop ruining the cause. And that's the thing. I'm gonna stop thinking that about myself. And I think a lot of people kind of also had that mindset where they were like, is my existence even valid to where we're going to be hurting our cause more than helping it? And that didn't do, I feel like I failed my cause, and that's just as an advocate, and we're going to be talking more. We're going to get those gums to flapping.
But Republicans are dropping out of town hall meetings en masse. Do you know why?
Why that?
You don't, because the revolution is not being televised.
It's time to speak up. I just got barred from the rest of the town hall meeting here in Bonham, Texas, Fannin County, with Representative Pat Fallon. Pat Fallon was towing the Trump party line, singing the praises of Doge and saying how they're not cutting veteran services, just employees. I said boo a few times, not alone. Yep. There were many people who said boo. Far more people saying boo than the ones that were clapping. But when I did, a Capitol Police officer, she has a uniform and a badge that said Capitol Police, came and stood right beside me. And then two people got taken out. One lady was saying he should be ashamed of himself when he was talking about veterans. There was a Hispanic man. I did not hear what he said, but they took his arm to take him out, and so I got up to go because I'll be damned if I'm going to sit there like the people in that town hall where that lady got zip tied and drug out. I went out to make sure they were okay. I cooled off a minute and then I tried to go back in and they wouldn't let me. They barred the door. There were Fannin County Sheriff's Office and there were also the Capitol Police woman who said, I can't go back in. You've been asked to leave. I said, no, I wasn't. I wasn't asked to leave. I got up and left on my own, and now I want to come back in and watch the rest, hear my representatives. No, ma'am, you can't. You're disruptive. How was I disruptive? Come on. Well, you said boo. Yeah, I said boo, but there were a lot of people clapping who interrupted. That's disruptive. Boo at the joint session. Why is that illegal? No, man, you're being disrespectful. It's disrespectful to say boo. So this is where we are, people. This is our America. But is it illegal? If you clap and say yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, you can stay. If you say boo, you no longer get to go and be present at a town hall. Yep. This is our America now. Yep. Yep. And conservatives were the ones who were saying, oh, you know, we can't say anything, we can't say anything.
Don't let the fascist media fool you into thinking that this country's gone full Nazi. It absolutely has not. The Nazis are loud, and they are being led by one of the most disgusting human beings to ever disgrace the human race, and it is embarrassing, and it is terrifying. They are loud, but they are not winning. Why don't you search Republican town halls here? Again, the revolution isn't being televised.
No, it's not.
But it's happening.
It's not.
And we're winning.
MSNBC
and if you don't believe me,
scared.
Go look at Tesla's stock price today. Compare it to 3 months ago. You can live in a world of alternative facts. But the funny thing about money is it cuts through the propaganda of the cult, don't it? Go die in a fire, every Nazi ever.
Good day, folks, and welcome back to yet another spicy, chaotic, and deeply ironic episode of Trump's America, The Regret Chronicles.
Come on.
Today's feature presentation, Tearful MAGA Regrets When Fafo Becomes Reality. Yes, we're talking about those die-hard, flag-waving, truck-decaling Trump loyalists who are now quietly Googling how to break up with the political cult.
Let me say, when it comes to me smiling and things like this, I've seen a lot of other people who are reacting to this hashtag Fafo in particular. And they are very serious, and I think there's something to be said for that. It's respectable to kind of be like, all these situations are affecting everybody's lives and everything like that. But I'm sitting here. There's a lot of things about me specifically that are under attack at this moment that I don't have sympathy for, and I don't have pity at people who have supported these ideas and who knew all along that they were supporting a hateful person to go out and kind of, isn't that where around to find out comes from? It's not supposed to be, I understand it's serious, but at the same time, it's fair game if you gotta share your story. This first person was cool. They weren't really sharing like their past. You gotta put your stuff out there. You gotta have the public's opinion. I think that we do a disservice as advocates, as people who are in the communities of all marginalized groups, that we do a disservice to the cause by not. And when I say disservice, I mean as advocates specifically, and even in that group, I wouldn't say disservice is the most appropriate term, but for lack of a better term, because everybody's in this and we're all kind of suffering a little bit, and for people to not want to speak at the same time is very, very, very. I understand like these streets are rough, very uncertain, and these streets can be damaging. But I think I personally felt like I definitely did a disservice for my personal cause because I was doubting my legitimacy as a whole. I think that, there's many people out there and that's going to be valid for them too. But with these situations specifically, I would like to just share my opinions because there's lessons in them and they're not always going to be like, oh, poor you. You voted for the fascists, for the Heil Hitler of the matter. Like, no.
Googling how to break up with the political cult. And it's painful to watch. Not because we sympathize per se, but because this is what happens when you invest your soul into a man who treats loyalty like a disposable razor.
And it is a shame.
Use, toss, repeat. Here's the tea. Trump, aka Daddy MAGA, is once again dropping bombshells like he's DJing at a demolition site. One executive decision here, a betrayal there, maybe a backhanded jab at one of his own allies just for flavor, and boom. Another chunk of the base is left blinking in disbelief, whispering, wait, he can't mean me. Oh, but he does, sweetheart. Yeah, he always does.
That was so crazy. So last night, I was scrolling TikTok before I went to bed, and my algorithm did this switch, and all of a sudden, I started getting all the, I regret my vote. Like, there's literally a whole thing now, like a tag.
I was a little shocked, too. It was
millions of people.
So predictable.
I don't know about millions, but there was, I kept going. I was like, I gotta go to bed. You know what I mean?
We told you.
And then the other day, I was just laughing through the whole thing. But then the other day, I was talking to one of my really good friends that he's my coworker, but I've known him since I started.
Yeah.
And him and his girlfriend are thinking about leaving the United States because of this shit. And he said his brother was a MAGA and literally reached out to him like last week and was like, yeah, I'm so sorry. I regret my vote. Can we fix our relationship? And he was like,
nope.
Fuck you, absolutely not.
Deuces.
He was like, I told you the entire fucking time, and now look at what we're dealing with.
It is weird.
Like, he doesn't want to raise his kids here anymore.
The intelligence
so he's like, I'm not going to have Christianity shoved down my kids' throats in the schools and shit. Like, what? No. So, yeah, so anyway, like, it is happening where these people regret their votes. Like, it is happening. And then what's happening, too, is you motherfuckers need to stop being mad that you voted for that motherfucker and be a little more humble. Because we don't give a fuck here.
They better be mad at
we
themselves.
knew it and we told you, and we're not going to be sorry when we cut you out of our lives.
They be blaming the Dems.
So with that being said,
somehow.
Go and look at the I regret my votes.
It's the
Get yourself a giggle today.
Now, let's rewind a bit. For those of us who never drank the orange Kool-Aid, this moment has been a long time coming.
By the way, oh my God, that is so creepy that he said that because I am definitely going to be working on a project. I would like to do a little more historical video in regards to MAGA and Trump, how you can compare his presidency to a cult. At the same time, I think that oligarchy and all those type of things are better ways to define it, but I think that as a cult specifically, when it comes to don't drink the Kool-Aid, when it comes to one of the biggest cults in American history, Jonestown, where that phrase comes from, scary to look into. And I want to get a little whiteboard and I want to draw some parallels. I think I'm cute. There's a lot to be said for that. That story is horrific, and I think that the fact that it's quite convenient that that's not something that we are taught in school, just maybe because it's just like it's weird or something. What they didn't have back then was instant communication. They had communication, but we're much more together, and I feel like we are too ingrained. Diversity is way too ingrained. We have a lot going on in this country for him to just kind of say, it's time.
Not the rally ones. We're talking about the narcissism, the grifting, the endless lies disguised as alternative facts. We weren't prophets. We just paid attention. We warned, we argued, we wrote Facebook essays and Thanksgiving rants, but Magaland called us woke snowflakes, scoffed at science, and told us to cry harder. Fast forward to today, they're the ones crying, And we're the ones sitting here, sipping tea like Kermit, watching the chaos unfold like, wow, who could have seen this coming? Spoiler, literally everyone except them. And let's talk about these regrets. They're pouring out faster than Trump can dodge a subpoena. Social media is now full of former supporters lamenting, I didn't vote for this, or I thought he was different, or my personal favorite, if I had known. If you had known. Sir, we told you. Loudly.
But it's okay to say you were.
That's what you voted for. What do you mean?
I regret my vote. There's no way to argue with them.
Sleepy Joe oversaw the largest stock gains in U.S. history, 9 quarters of GDP growth, an entire year of inflation decline, but the greatest businessman in the world crashed it in 60 days.
What we're witnessing now is the inevitable collision between blind loyalty and harsh reality. It's the political equivalent of buying a used car from a guy with no shirt on Craigslist, only to find out it doesn't have brakes, but you defend the purchase because, well, it felt right. But hey, we're not here to gloat. Well, maybe just a little. We're here to document this deliciously awkward transition from cult worship to cognitive dissonance. It's like watching someone realize their favorite reality show is scripted. There's confusion, anger, a bit of bargaining, but deep down, they know. The jig is up.
This message is for Donald Trump and JD Vance. If you're not them, this is not for you. You guys, you are clearly the best administration that America has ever seen. It's time to show these bastards that you can get on a tiny little submarine, visit Titanic, and make it back alive. Let's fucking go.
It's a little dark.
America, I'm so sorry that your grandmother died an hour earlier this weekend than she was supposed to. I just want to offer you these eggs as just a token of how sorry I am.
In recent months, a growing number of Trump supporters have begun to express regret over their previous allegiance to the Make America Great Again, MAGA movement. This shift is particularly evident among federal workers, rural communities, and even within the conservative base as they confront the tangible repercussions. While some initially supported Trump's initiatives, many are disillusioned by the widespread layoffs and the influence of figures like Elon Musk within the administration. One federal worker lamented, "I'm frightened for my future that he made seem so bright during his campaign." This sentiment reflects a broader sense of betrayal among those who feel the administration's actions have led to significant job insecurity and dissatisfaction. Trump's economic strategies, particularly his approach to tariffs and government restructuring, are generating economic uncertainty and market instability. The administration's erratic implementation of tariffs on countries like Canada, Mexico, and China has contributed to market volatility, with the S&P 500 and NASDAQ Composite experiencing notable declines. These policies are anticipated to elevate inflation. Remember to like and subscribe to Trend
I'm going to give it a like. You give it a my good YouTuber diligence and put the link first thing in the description, just to be polite. And that, my dear, was reacting to MAGA voters break down in tears, realizing Democrats were right. Donald Trump won't save you. He will not.